This is A's Cast Live, your comprehensive look at the Athletics.
Leaping at the wall, it's gone! A towering drive into center field by Rooker.
And 29 other MLB clubs.
A judgy blast. All rise. Here comes the judge.
Swung on, hit high, hit deep to right, away back into the second deck.
Bobby Witt Jr. becomes the first shortstop in Major League history to have two 30-30 seasons.
Shohei Ohtani starts the 50-50 club.
Join us as we take you inside the baseball universe, from humidors to walk-off dingers to Hall of Fame talk. We have you covered. Spend your afternoon with us, only on A's Cast Live. Here's Chris Townsend.
How is everybody doing out there? Tuesday here at the ballpark in West Sacramento. It's A's Cast Live. You know what? I do believe we provide you with a lot of terrific baseball content on this program. What Cody has been able to do guest-wise over the years, we have the biggest power brokers in the sport. Whether you're talking about players, executives, media types. But today, if you're a baseball fan, if you're an A's fan, you're going to love what we're bringing to you at 5:38. At 5:38 today, it's appointment programming. Very rarely do you get two guys that have influenced each other so much. They're a part of tonight's ball game. It's just an unbelievable story. Scott Emerson, it's Tuesday, so it's time for Dr. Emo. But Andrew Bailey will join us, the pitching coach of the Boston Red Sox, Rookie of the Year for the Oakland Athletics, two-time All-Star for the Athletics. We're going to have both pitching coaches from tonight's game on with us for about 18 minutes. We're going to go through the call-up, which is a great story. Andrew Bailey, I got to cover. He's a super guy. He's now become one of the top pitching coaches in the game. So Mason Barnett, who's going to be starting tomorrow for your Athletics, is going to join us right now. But I'm just saying, at 5:38, we are going to be talking with both pitching coaches of tonight's game, Scott Emerson for the Athletics and Andrew Bailey for the Boston Red Sox. And Andrew Bailey, boom, boom, was a great player for the A's. It's one of the best interviews we've done all year long. We'll have Eno Sarris at 5:15 from the Athletic, breaking down Nick Kurtz's swing, his second half, why it's historic. But right now, Mason Barnett, who is starting tomorrow against the Boston Red Sox, will be making his third career start. He joins us now here on A's Cast Live, and it's actually the first time we have ever met, first time we have ever spoken. I've been waiting ever since the trade, and you came over from Kansas City. We know you're an Auburn Tiger, so we can always get into some SEC action as college football has started up. It's nice to meet you. How are you?
Nice to meet you. I'm great. Great. Good to be here.
I got to tell you, we've been waiting because obviously Lucas Ursig, when they made that trade, we knew you were a big part of it. We followed you in the minor leagues. What was it like to finally get that call and to come up here and start your big league career?
Oh, man. When the trade happened, I honestly wasn't really expecting it. I didn't know what to expect. And now that, I'm over here and made some great friends and finally got the call, I'm super stoked and excited.
And it's one of those deals when you come here, you realize you perform, you'll have a chance to get to the big league level. Did you know that when you first got here, and did you experience that early?
Yeah, I had some, people that I trust kind of tell me that, hey, you have a really good opportunity. Just keep doing what you're doing and you'll have a really good chance. So, but the thing is baseball, you can't go too far ahead of yourself. And that was kind of the way I took it. So, but I'm excited for sure.
I think about the first start. First start, it's so hard to evaluate anybody because there's so much going on in a guy's head, right? It's parents, it's brothers and sisters, it's wives, girlfriends, grandparents. There's so much craziness, and it's your first start. And you're thinking about so it's tough to evaluate that. I still thought you threw the ball pretty well. It was this last start that you didn't have the feel in the first inning, and then after that, you just absolutely dealt. Talk about that second start down in Anaheim.
Yeah. First inning obviously didn't go the way I wanted to. Wish I could have got some calls that I needed to, and I didn't get them. But at the end of the day, that's baseball, and you just roll with the punches. And, my whole thing was just trying to go pitch by pitch. And then, like you said, after that first and, the second through the fifth, I kind of settled in and was making the pitches I needed to make. So kind of helped out.
It's like watching the game, and obviously we weren't there. We were back here, but it looked like the light went on. It, like you said, to hell with it. I'm just going to come after these guys. And when you settle down, we're talking about strikeout after strikeout. You have striking out 8 guys in 4 innings. That's 2 an inning. Did you get that sense that you got the feel back and the light went on, and to hell with it, I'm going right after these guys?
Yeah, I mean, having Shea back there and him just trying to calm me down a little bit, and then, hey, your stuff's great. Just keep going, you're fine. And, like you said, it just kind of settled in, and I was able to do what I wanted to do and make pitches, and it worked out in my favor for sure.
Let's talk about your style. Clearly, you're coming right over the top, and what I like to tell about people is that when you're coming from the angle that you're coming from, if it says 95, to a hitter, it's going to look about 98. It's going to jump on him real fast with the big kind of 12-6 curveball, and then you got stuff to go east-west. Talk about your style, about how you get guys out.
Yeah, I mean, kind of like you said, over the top. My fastball just kind of, plays at the top of the zone. And it kind of sets up the rest of my pitches. I like to pitch off my fastball. This is what I've done my entire life. And I think it, especially when I'm able to command it, it just opens up so much more with the rest of my arsenal, especially the slider. Like you said, the curveball plays really well off that. And
yeah.
The changeup's come a long way, so I'm excited for that pitch as well.
Yeah, we actually talked to Mark Kotze about that, about in the minor leagues, when you have someone like yourself, when you're going to be able to get through, whether it's slider, sweeper, whatever it is, fastball, breaking ball, curveball, you'll be able to get through the minor leagues. You don't throw as many changeups because you'd be helping guys out. Now you get to the big leagues and you really need that. So do you get a sense that things are going to change with your changeup and it's going to be something you're going to need to throw a lot more to be effective?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I definitely noticed that, right away, just how big the changeup is. And, coming up, like you said, I needed it, but I didn't need it as much, I guess. And then as I've, gone up, and especially now, it just became a huge pitch just to keep guys honest and, to get ground balls or whatever I need.
I get that batters are different, strengths and weaknesses, but if you had to say, I got to get a strikeout right now with 2 strikes, what is that pitch you feel most comfortable with? What is your equalizer, in your opinion?
I would have to say my fastball at the top for sure. I think obviously, hitters also know that's kind of how I throw.
Yeah.
But, when in doubt, I feel like my fastball is probably going to be the pitch that, I rely on for sure.
I always like to ask the big league moment. There's a time where you go, oh, my God, I'm here. And it's different for everybody. Mm-hmm. It could be the way you were told. It can be when you first arrive at the ballpark. It can be your first game. Some people, it's been a couple games in, then you realize, I can't remember who told me. They're like, I'm standing next to Aaron Judge, and I'm like, oh, my God, this guy's a monster. So when you think about that one moment when I've made it, it's the big leagues. What was that moment for you?
I'm going to have to honestly say it was my last start when I got to face Mike Trout. And I think, growing up watching him and then facing him, that was like, okay, now we're here and now we go. That was pretty surreal for me for sure.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
Once again, wasn't your first game. Wasn't when you first arrived. It was the second game. He's an all-time great. And you're like,
he is.
You probably played him in video games, and now you got your shot at Mike Trout, and you went after him.
I did, yeah, absolutely. That was one I remember. I was probably 12, 13 years old, I'd say, and I'm from Atlanta, and he comes in and just tears the Braves apart. And I remember our team that I was with just talking about him and how he plays and all that, and the example he sets. And then when I get up there and I'm facing him for the first time, I'm like, dang, this is crazy. Yeah. This is really cool.
Yeah. No, it's I love hearing those stories because it is true. It's something so special. So we're going to air this part of this interview tomorrow on NBC for the pregame show. So I'm going to ask you, what do you think after 2 starts? What do you think you need to improve on?
I think overall, just commanding the zone a little bit better, just overall, in, out, up, down, just kind of being a complete pitcher and not just being one-dimensional, fastball or curveball or staying one side of the play. I think it's overall everything, just commanding both sides of the plate, throwing pitches to get ground balls or just game management, just overall just getting a little bit tighter and a little bit more crisp.
And sometimes easier said than done, but make sure you have that feel early coming from the bullpen out to the first inning.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's a big part. You want to set the tone early, and, that's definitely something I need to work on as well.
All right, being an Auburn guy, I didn't realize yesterday Colby Thomas is a big Alabama fan.
Yeah.
And I was like, really? And so experiences now that college football season has started and the trash talk starts going,
Mm-hmm.
That's your university. They have shown, by the way, both on Instagram and on Twitter, this pregame hype stuff Auburn's doing now, where they're all getting together. It's been pretty electric.
It is.
It is. Have you been talking trash at all to anybody inside the clubhouse?
Not quite. A lot of these guys, so I'm a huge college football fan. I grew up a diehard Georgia fan, actually went to Auburn, and they're obviously there's a huge football tradition there as well.
Everybody in the SEC out west maybe not understands this, but everybody in the SEC, everybody has a rivalry of some kind because it's been in the deep south, if it's been going on for a long time. So it's just not Alabama. You'll have a rivalry with Florida. You'll have a rivalry with Georgia. You'll even somehow find a way to have a rivalry with Kentucky and Vanderbilt. There's a rivalry with everybody.
You just, there's pretty much hatred for every team except for the team that you root for, I'd say. And, like I said, I grew up a Georgia fan, went to Auburn, so there's almost like a double hatred for me for Alabama. No offense to the Bama fans, but I just cannot stand them. So I'm rooting against Alabama pretty much anytime they step on the field.
So you root for not only Auburn, Georgia, but everybody who's on the schedule for the Alabama Crimson Tide.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
That's what makes college football the best,
It's
right?
so fun. Yeah, it's so fun.
Hey, it is so nice to meet you. I'm very impressed what we've seen so far, and we've been waiting because we knew, you were the one guy in the minor leagues they were actually allowing to go deeper in games while everybody else was getting quick hooks on pitch counts. We noticed they were letting you go, so we could see that they were grooming you to get up here and be a starter. Thank you so much for the time.
Yes,
we
sir.
truly appreciate it. Good luck tomorrow, and hopefully we're doing this for many years to come.
Absolutely. I appreciate it.
And good luck to your Auburn Tigers.
Hey, thank you, sir. Thank you.
There it is, Mason Barnett right here on A's Cast Live. You are good to go, my friend.
All right.
We're going to have coming up here, Eno Sarris is going to join us in moments and talk a lot about what's going on with Nick Kurtz as just the development of the swing. Let me switch over here into the middle. We're going to stay here. We're doing this camera off to the right here. Okay. Do I have my guy, Eno Sarris? I think Eno's coming to us from the ballpark in San Francisco.
Yes, I am from the printer room.
You're from the printer room? That's where they stuck you? That's where we can get you in? How are you, my friend?
I'm doing great. It was another good day at the ballpark.
You did an interesting article in late August, and then Mike Petriello just did another one on MLB.com about Nick Kurtz, and he gave you a lot of credit. It's amazing what we're seeing from this kid, Eno. It's his second half it's absolutely historic, and you're comparing his bat speed, the swing tilt, how he swings to guys like Shohei Ohtani, Aaron Judge, and a very select group because of his bat speed and how he swings. Just how much fun was this recent article that you did on Nick Kurtz?
Yeah, it's really great because, he's top 10 in bat speed. In fact, he might be like top 5. He's elite in bat speed, and that's where you start. But with these new stats, you can kind of make comps where you're like, okay, that's one part, how fast you swing. But another part is, what is the shape of your swing? Are you a flat swing guy? Are you a scoopy swing guy? You can do that. Now, on top of that, you can also say, hey, do you go get the ball out in front or do you let it travel? And the way that he has set himself up is actually amazing for success, because what he is top 5 in bat speed. He also has the top 5 scoopiest swing, which might be bad because, that's uppercut. It's an uppercut swing.
Leads to strikeouts.
You could call it, yes, it does lead to some strikeouts, and he does strike out some. But he also lets the ball travel. So, when you look at who has a scoopy swing like that, who has the bat speed like that, who lets the ball travel, the only two comps, like literally the only two comps for his swing are Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge, and maybe like more peak Mike Trout. So like not necessarily this version of Mike Trout, like, old school Mike Trout. So the comps are great. And I think there will be times, everybody, this is early on in a career. There will be times when maybe he's striking out, maybe they're filling up the top of the zone. They did that to Mike Trout for a while. They filled him up at the top of the zone. But because he lets the ball travel, he's going to see it. He's going to take walks. He's going to let that ball at the top of the zone go by, because that's not the one he does damage on. And because he has that elite bat speed, he can go out to the opposite field. So he can go out to any part of the field. He can wait it out. He can let the ball travel a little bit and see it. So it's a really good. I mean, it's if it's not the perfect batter may swing miss a little bit less. But to have those kind of comps early in your career is pretty exciting. So when I was just following that, and I like to do that where I'm, I like take the name off the back of this. Like, let me just look at. What is this? Who has a swing like this? Who does this? And I was like, oh my God.
Yeah.
And then I did an overlay where you put their swings on top of each other and it was perfect. You don't think of it when you see Shohei because he steps in the bucket. He kind of has like a little bit of a weird swing at the beginning. But if you just look at just the bat moving through space, it's the exact same swing. Yeah.
If you're going to have a comp and it's Shohei Ohtani and Aaron Judge, that doesn't suck.
Yeah, exactly.
And it's always tough because Shohei has those traditional Japanese style, the way they hit. He's just a massive power version of it compared to what a lot of
he really is. It looks like Ichiro.
Yeah.
But with like a lot more bat speed and just a bigger dude. Like it's like Ichiro with a ton more power.
Now, the whole thing about the uppercut, I don't fear that. And one of the reasons why it's different than Mike Trout, because Mike Trout's not a big guy. That was just his style. When you're massive like Aaron Judge at 6'8", or you're 6'5", like Kurtz is, and what's Ohtani, 6'4", almost 6'5".
Yeah,
it's impossible isn't it almost impossible not to have a swing like that when you're that tall?
I mean, it's a good point. What are you going to do with if your hands are that high and you need to hit a ball that's at your knees? Like, you're going to have that. It's what's tilt. That's the measurement. It's sort of how the bat comes through the zone, perpendicular to the outfield. So you're looking at it, that's tilt. And so you're going to have tilt. You're a big guy. You got to, and like, also think about it growing up. If you're a big guy and you're growing up, I feel like people are just going to fill up the bottom of the zone on you because A, they're not as tall as you, and B, there just seems to be so much zone down there, right? So what are you going to do in defense is you're going to be able to hit the bottom of the zone. So also it's a slider league right now. So why wouldn't it be good to be able to mash things at the bottom of the zone? So I would say he is A pluses bottom of the zone, B plus to A minus middle of the zone. And the top of the zone, he still puts a pretty good swing on it because he has so much bat speed. It's just that's where he misses more often.
The other thing that impresses me so much, and it's something that we don't talk enough about, I know the teams do with force plates, and I'm sure if we put Aaron Judge and whoever, either Schwarber, I would love to see, but how guys utilize the ground and how they utilize the ground for their power, for their leverage. We always think, and as we're talking about upper body in the swing, but the lower body fires first, then the upper body, and they really get a lot of their power from how they leverage the ground. And to me, that's how Kurtz hits these balls out to left field like it's nothing. His lower body is so strong.
Yeah, I mean, it really one of the big revelations out of using force plate and biomechanical analysis, one that I struggle with understanding at first, is that the front leg, the front leg in pitching and the front leg in hitting is the source of a lot of your power. And what it is I think it's Newton's law. For every force, there's an equal and opposite force. So what happens is when you jam that front leg into the ground, as a pitcher, you're pitching, you jam that front leg into the ground, that force comes back. And what that force coming out of the ground does is it changes your momentum. So like when you're pitching, you slam that front foot down, it changes your momentum from like sort of going in a circle to going, it's kind of almost like a pole vault. Stick that in.
It's like
go
a
over.
catapult.
Yeah.
And how I learned about it, funny, I wasn't even thinking about it. It's just for me personally in golf. Golf was really the first ones to really do this. How do you hit the ball further? And they started to realize that it's coming. It's like your front leg is stopping you, and then the power vaults it out. You're vaulting the golf ball, and it's the same thing in baseball when you're hitting it, or very similar with pitching.
Yeah, so one of the things, I was talking to, I forget who it was, a pitcher, and he was like, I got to go do my force plates real quick. And so what he was literally doing was going to the next room and jumping up and down on a plate just to make sure, like he was healthy and he was putting force in the ground and to kind of keep track. So, this new type of analysis about how much, pressure. Also, I don't know. I think I was on here talking to you about how much could a guy throw at the very, how fast could a guy throw? I wrote that story 2 years ago. And, one of the ways that somebody answered that, and he said, he thinks we can throw 125. And then one of the ways he answered that is, I just took how much force a human being could put into the ground and then did a physics equation off of that. And so basically he's like, if Giannis came in here and you saw Mason Miller's tree trunks, if Giannis came in here and was a great baseball player, like that's the type of player that we might get that throws 125. Paul Skeens, like, of course he throws hard. He's this huge dude that's putting a lot of force in the front on his front foot. So if we want to throw 120, we need to get some people from basketball and football over here to try and do it.
Can you just imagine getting ready for a game and a guy, we're breaking it down. He throws 120, his changeup is 110, his cutter is 112, sweeper can be anywhere between 108. You're like, nice. Can you imagine?
It would be nuts. And the guy, in order to do it, would probably be 7'3", 280.
So he's releasing it right into the catcher.
Oh, yeah, it's just right in your face. Here you go.
All right, coming down the stretch, Jacob Wilson still has a shot at the AL batting title. He's starting to look a lot better. Just kind of give me some of the things you're really looking for coming down the stretch.
Yeah, I think that's fascinating. And the rookie race that he's a part of, in terms of the the AL Rookie of the Year. It's going to be Kurtz, I guess, but it's going to be Wilson number 2, I think. So, that's kind of a fun thing to go 1-2 in the rookie race. It speaks to how well the lineup has formed in Sacramento. I think the A's have a really, really good lineup. And for me, if I'm watching the A's, I'm watching the young pitching to see who's going to step forward and be in the rotation next year. I really like Luis Morales. I think there's something there. Who are the veterans that are going to stick around, and who are the young guys that are going to come up. And I want them to call up Gage Jump. I want to see all the young guys. Yeah. I want to see the young arms and see who's going to take over. In terms of races. I think it's mostly the American League wild card race is the biggest race left. There might be some juice in the American League East in terms of who wins that division. The Blue Jays have been coming back to earth, but it is interesting that when you look around, there's so much parity. We're not going to have a 98 win team. We're definitely not going to have a 100 win team this year. And this race for the middle has meant that wherever you look, it seems like the teams are okay. It seems wide open, especially the American League. I feel like next year the A's can be right there in it, because the American League in particular there's so much parity that there's 12 good teams, and 6 or 7 are going to make it, and it's good and bad. I kind of like the super teams, and in fact, the research has shown that a super team can add more interest to the sport. The Dodgers, going to the World Series for over and over again would add interest, because people are like, oh, I know Shohei, I know Freddie, I know all these characters. But on the other hand, if you're a fan in Milwaukee right now, you're happy that there's more parity. You're happy that more teams get a chance of getting in.
Let's end on this. Boston is here, and you're in San Francisco. So I'm going to tie that all in. Devers gets traded. We just had Dave O'Brien from Nesson Television say, hey, after about 10 days, this thing started to click. all the bad juju washed away, and they've been running ever since. So the trade really worked out. And then all of a sudden the Giants got out. It was a huge struggle once Devers came there. People are talking about firing people they can't hit. Now all of a sudden Devers and the Giants are looking great offensively. All of a sudden this trade is starting to look like with 17, 18 games for some teams, it's starting to work out great for both teams.
Yeah, I mean, it could be, I don't know if win-win actually exists, but this could be one of those win-win deals. I think for Devers, it was just a chance to reset the conversation, to just, flush a lot of that old, nonsense out. And, he proved that by getting here and being like, yeah, I'll play first base. He even played third base, and when Chappie was out for a game. So I think he showed that he was willing to do things. He just felt like he was maybe due a level of respect that maybe the Boston wasn't giving him. And I think for Boston, there was a new regime that came in, and Devers was kind of the guy that the old regime signed, So for them, they were like, this is a headache. This isn't a guy that I gave him the money. This is this is somebody else's headache that's been given to me, So they got all wrapped up in all the things that he wasn't doing. And I wish he was a better defender, and always got locked up and all this money. And I think they were thinking about that. It may have been, they may be a better team now in terms of flexibility and what they can do for going forward. But they also gave up a really good bat. And this is something that San Francisco really needed.
Keep your phone on, my friend. I've got plans for you, especially in 2026. So when you see my name, make sure you take that call. You are the best.
Next time I'll have earbuds, and I won't be in the
dungeon of what we used to call Pac Bell Park.
Yeah. I'm surprised the printer hasn't started spitting out stuff right in the back.
I thought they got rid of fax machines. What is that behind you?
Thanks for having me on.
You're the best. The great Eno Sarris. Coming up next, hot takes, and then you trust me, you're going to love it. Scott Emerson, Andrew Bailey. It's must see, must listen. Coming up at 5:38 right here on A's Cast Live.
Here's the pitch, and it's a hit. Folsom Lake Ford has stepped up again, winning the Triple Crown Award, Ford Motor Company's highest honor, now 7 years in a row. Folsom Lake Ford is a top sales leader in the U.S., along with being top in customer satisfaction in sales, service, and finance. Now that's a home run. Don't miss the huge savings on your favorite models at your truck headquarters. Folsom Lake Ford in the Folsom Auto Mall.
Shea Langoliers joined Chris Townsend on A's Cast Live in West Sacramento to talk about stepping up and becoming a leader for the A's.
Maybe towards the end of last year, the end of 2024.
Yeah, it's something that just kind of happens. I think all of a sudden guys start asking you stuff. You used to ask those questions. Now those questions are being asked to you. And it's kind of something that just gradually happens. And all of a sudden you're kind of a guy people look up to. And I really noticed that. And we understand when we have players in this situation and like where you are right now, and the younger guys come up and they start bringing up your name, I start realizing, okay, we're starting to see that transition. Tell us what that's like. It's got to be a pretty cool feeling.
Yeah. It is kind of funny. Like you said, it's the questions I was asking when I first came up, and the questions that I'm getting from the younger guys now. And I'm not one to claim to know all the answers and have all the answers. Just be as honest as I can with them, what my experiences were, what I went through, what I thought helped me. And like I said before, everybody's different. Everybody's going to have, a different answer to what their question is. And I just, go off my experience and what I felt made me better, and then they adjust with that.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/A'sCast.
The A's YouTube page is your go-to destination for A's video content. Get access to great highlights, exclusive behind-the-scenes content, classic games, A's Cast Live, and more. Visit youtube.com/athletics.
A's 2025 first-round pick Jamie Arnold talked about the feeling of getting drafted during his sit-down of Towny on A's Cast Live.
Yeah, that's kind of when it all set in for me, because obviously leading up to the draft, you don't know where you're going to go. So, once I got the call and I knew I was going to be an A, like, it kind of all set in for me, and it felt real. And, thinking about this team, it's such a young team, and, we're moving to Vegas. So I was super excited, and, I'm super happy to be here.
You can watch the full interview at youtube.com/athletics or listen at athletics.com/A'sCast.
A's Cast Live continues from West Sacramento. Here's Chris Townsend.
I'm telling you, coming up here at 5:38, and Johnny, you'll respect this because you know both of them. Andrew Bailey, former Rookie of the Year just Rookie of the Year for the Athletics, the last Rookie of the Year, now the pitching coach for the Boston Red Sox. Here with Scott Emerson, who was his pitching coach in Double-A. 18 minutes, it's priceless. It's just gold. If you love the A's, you love baseball. Yeah. You're going to dig it. Hot Take Tuesday. Cody wanted to cancel this today. And I'm like, we can't cancel this.
You wouldn't allow it.
I wouldn't allow it.
Good. Oh, what's wrong with you? Thanks, Towny. Appreciate that.
Well, my Red Sox are here, and I told you they'd be good.
You're Red Sox.
I told you guys they'd be good. You all laughed at me when I said they'd be better without Devers.
Got to give credit.
We got to give you, as the kids say, your flowers.
Yeah, we give you flowers.
I thought it was the lamest hot take because there was no – how do we get –
They're going to be pretty good. Hey,
you know what? But wait a minute. Was your hot take just they would be better and the Giants would be worse?
I just said they would be better without them.
You know what? You were correct. So you know what?
Nice work. Flowers.
You are a winner. What camera are we on? Which one are we on?
The 2-shot one.
All right. So your winner chicken dinner. You got, and I texted out to the group. Cody's a winner on this. There's no question.
Yeah. You admitted it.
It was a great call.
I appreciate it. I want to hear you tell me congratulations, Johnny.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Nice work.
You got to say it into the microphone. But
congratulations.
Thank you. There you go.
Nice work.
That's how this works in broadcasting.
Appreciate it.
All right. Let's do it quickly.
I have been looking forward to this all day.
Oh, thank you, David.
I've read Johnny Cannon. It's okay.
What do you say?
I
love it. I love it.
You hear a really good sports hot take.
I believe the A's will have a 15-run game. They need a laugher.
Not only will Brent Rooker be an all-star, Brent Rooker will be in the home run derby this year.
I don't think we're seeing Juan Soto for 5-6 guys. I'm predicting we will not see one blazing
major
hot,
trade last year.
big trade.
Then you hear some really bad hot takes.
Gio Urshela is going to hit his first home run of the year.
Urshela first home run.
Aaron Judge will not record a hit this weekend against
Judge won't get a hit versus us.
I'm calling it now. Right. There will be a collapse in Milwaukee.
Brewers are kind of close to playoff spot, but
we'll catch them.
Well, on A's Cast Live, all takes are hot takes.
Bad ones.
It's time for Hot Takes Tuesday with Chris Townsend, only on A's Cast Live.
All right, we got 6 minutes before Emo and Andrew Bailey. Go.
All right, so I'm going to double down on a hot take I did last year.
Double down? You're going Brewers, not in the playoffs?
Well, that's a you thing. I said they'd lose in the first round. That's what I said. I said lose. That's a shot at Pat Murphy and our Brew crew. But last year, if you remember on this program in September, I said that the Chicago Bears would win more games in the month of September than the Chicago White Sox.
I forget. How did that work out?
It didn't. The Bears stunk.
Yeah, but so do the White Sox.
Wasn't it close?
The White Sox ended up winning more games, but it was close. So I'm going to double down but pick a different city and conference.
Bears are 0-1.
They have different conference. The Denver Broncos will win more games in the month of September than the Colorado Rockies. It's 1-1 right now, everyone. Broncos are 1-0. The Rockies have won one game last Friday night against the Padres.
How many games left does Rocktober have?
Well, let's see. We have 17, so I would assume they probably are around
17 or 18.
17 or 18.
Yeah, no shot. No, he's not going to win this hot take, but that's all right.
Well, Denver's got 5 games?
The Broncos have 3 left this month. The Broncos do.
So they're only playing 4 games September?
Usually it's only 4 games, right?
Colorado's played actually better ball than that of late. I mean, I
don't know how many weekends are in September. I was trying to help you out. I was hoping there was 5. Is there 4?
I think there are 4 total.
So you got to go 4-0, and that's all right.
They got
3 left.
They got the Colts, Chargers, and Bengals.
No chance. No, you're not beating Harbaugh. Where is that game? Is that in L.A.? Inglewood.
That game is at SoFi in Inglewood.
Inglewood, always up to no good, as Dr. Dre once said.
Great quote.
They're playing Daniel Jones and the Colts this week.
You grew up around Inglewood.
Yeah, I did. Grew up in LA. Yep. Yeah, my hot take is
what do you got?
My hot take is although he's cold right now, he's going to heat up again. Eugenio Suarez, Josh Naylor and company, and I don't like this team, but I'm going to tell you this: the Seattle Mariners are going to the World Series this year. Seattle Mariners are going to the World Series this year. They are. I don't like it. I don't want it, but I'm just telling you what's going to happen. The Mariners are going to the World Series.
Mid.
Yeah. I know.
You just put that out on our air?
Yeah, I know. And I don't like it.
What are you, Mariner Johnny now?
I don't like the Mariners at all.
Are we going to have to get you a trident in your press box or what?
Listen, there are hot takes you make that you don't like. I don't want that.
You're right, because I'm about to do that myself.
Right. So listen.
Yeah, you think I wanted to pick against the Brewers?
Do I want the Mariners? No, I want the Mariners to not even make the playoffs.
Right.
They're going to the World Series.
All right, you got a little less than 3 minutes.
All right, Johnny, I can't chastise you because I'm doing the same thing.
What do you got?
I twice had to go on my old station 95.7 the game this year because they were doing reunions and stuff, and I started the station. Both times, they wanted me to go after my guy who was arguably one of my favorite people I've ever been around in our game, somebody who means a lot to me, not only for my career, but personally. He has been very close to me. He's been very good to me. He's a real friend. That's Bob Melvin. And they wanted me to go against Bob Melvin. I told them they were idiots and that Bob Melvin's a great leader. Mm-hmm. And all of a sudden, the San Francisco Giants now are 73-71. They're only 3 games back of the NL wild card. I, as you know on this show, have said for many years I don't like the San Francisco Giants.
Yep, I've heard it.
There are people who tried to get me fired that are running the San Francisco Giants, and I will never forget that. I don't let things go, Johnny.
Oh, wow.
I don't let things go. But this is for my guy, Bob, who I love. I love Bob Melvin. Bob Melvin's been great to me. He's been great to my family. He's been great to my kids.
This program.
He's been great to this program. I think he's one of the great A's of all time. I think we should retire his number,
1 minute,
along with Sal Bando's number 6. He won more games than any skipper in Oakland A's history. I love me some Bob Melvin. I hate the San Francisco Giants, but this is all about Bob. Bob gets into the postseason. He gets the last wild card. And all these hot take idiots in sports talk radio and all you hot take artists on Twitter and everywhere else, you're going to be kissing his ass. You're going to be apologizing and kissing his ass when he gets your Giants into the postseason. You all love Bob Melvin because you all wanted him fired. Oh, he doesn't know anything about offense. Bob Melvin will get the Giants. It'll make me throw up. Bob Melvin will get the Giants into the postseason.
That is a hot take. That is a hot take. Wow.
You want great content? I apologize for even saying the Giants. You want great content? Andrew Bailey, our former Rookie of the Year, pitching coach for the Red Sox, and Dr. Emo, Scott Emerson. Well, it's time for the pitching doctor right here on A's Cast Live. Scott Emerson joining us as he does every single homestand. You have a special guest on your show today. Who is with us today?
The great Andrew Bailey right here. I mean,
you mean the Rookie of the Year, the last Rookie of the Year for the Athletics is here?
Hey, hopefully we can get one more. But, yeah, we got an outstanding human being right here and a great pitching coach.
You know, I think about, all the relationships that over the years that through this organization, they mean so much. And it's so great that we've talked to you. I covered you back in the day. But just think how far you guys go back and what Emo meant to you in your career as a pitcher.
Yeah, I mean, Emo's been around this game for a long time, has done amazing things and worked with some really special athletes. And I was blessed to work with him as, far back as AA and probably some instructs there here and there. And so I've known him, almost 20 years now. So been blessed to be around a lot of special people first and foremost. And I'm always fortunate to kind of look back at my playing career and be with an organization that believes in its people, gives young players the opportunity to succeed. And I really don't think I would have had the career I had if I was somewhere else. And, with the likes of, Emo and Gil Patterson and G and Garvin and those guys, I wouldn't have the knowledge base I had or the playing career.
Yeah, go back to that story about AA getting called up. That was a special moment.
Yeah, for me, I can see it right now. Now in 2008,
I wasn't very good.
Well, let's be honest here. In 2008, Bales started for us for the Midland Rockhounds in the first half of the season, and it was kind of my suggestion that Bales move to the bullpen for a few weeks. And the only reason why I wanted him to move to the bullpen is to get that killer instinct for an inning and then learn to get it for 2 innings. And he went out there and dominated the second half out of the bullpen. And I mean dominated out of the second half of the bullpen. We were in spring training the next year, and Ron Romanek was now our bullpen coach. And Ron Romanek always thought Bales was a mini Schilling, and Gil Patterson thought he was a mini Mariano Rivera. So what happens is we turn this fastball more into throwing more cutters.
Yep.
And I'll never forget the day in spring training that year. I'm at a Little League game after spring training practice. I already knew that Bales made the team or was going to make the team, and it was a great moment for me personally. He actually called me and was so excited and said, Emo, I made the team. I made the team. And that's for a coach. Players don't understand that. That's all you want is you want to be able to be in that room and know that guy's going to a place where he wants to go. And when I was in AAA and we're sending guys to the big leagues, those were great moments. But that phone call from Bales, I already knew, but he gave me the honor to give me a phone call, and that was something that I always remember.
It's so interesting now because bullpens have become such a big part of our game. They're pitching more innings than ever before, especially what we saw in the postseason. You guys are about to go to the postseason. We'll see how that works out for you. And it's so interesting because you're a starter, right? I'm a starter. I go once every 5 days. We recently did this with Mason Miller. Then all of a sudden you make the guy the closer, and now you're coming at the end of the game and you got a song. And when is it where you flip that you realize you're like, hey, I kind of like this role?
Yeah, no, I mean, I really enjoyed, pitching high leverage moments, at the major league level. And I think what Emo spoke about is very true. Is I had lost my mindset. I had lost kind of what made me tick. I kind of fell into I got to be a starter. I got to nibble. I got to strike one here. And rather than just go blow doors, go be yourself, let it, like he said, that killer instinct. And I do remember my first start in AA that year. I dealt, I think it was even like 7 innings or something like that. And for some reason, I just kind of fell into this, like, I have to do something a little bit different, and pitch a little bit more. And so I always kind of like after my first or second year at the major league level, I was like, I can go back to starting now. Like I could do that,
Well, that was the point I was trying to make it at the moment was, no, I want you to go back to starting, but he did so well in like the 3 weeks of relieving. They were like, why would we even do that? This guy's going to be a great major league reliever.
Yeah. So I think like, and to have those lockdown guys, at the back end is so special and vital to the health of the team, right? Because you got to go win the games that you can win, and to have those guys there that can just shut the door is vital to winning games at the major league level. And I think it is true. You're kind of starting to see the fall away from the starters, but it's so valuable to have the guy that can go 6-7 innings and keep your team in the game. And when you have a couple of those throughout your rotation, it one can take some pressure off the bullpen, but two, it keeps everybody fresh as well.
For you now as a pitching coach, the fact that you did start and then you did closer at a high level, so you did both, how much does that help you with the mentality of helping your pitchers? Because you've been there, you've done that, each role.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think, Emo and I were just talking about bullpens day 2, day 3, and kind of the undulation throughout the course of the season of, what you're kind of balancing with each guy. But for me, I think first and foremost, I was kind of fortunate enough to kind of experience kind of it all, like you guys were joking, the rookie of the year stuff and the all-star stuff, but I was also non-tendered and hurt a lot and released and signed a minor league deal and pitched in AAA when I had 7 years in big league experience and, was released and, went back to AAA. Yeah. So I've kind of run the gamut of experiences that you can have at the level. And I think to be able to mesh with other human beings at a personal level, I think it means a lot because I can kind of tap into a lot of those experiences. But my time here was full of highlights for me personally. And, unfortunately we didn't do great as a team, but I had a lot of success out of the bullpen, and it's, be able to tap into, when we have young guys come up as relievers and we have young guys come up as starters, kind of tap into both of those things.
That year in 2008 with Bales on the team, we also had Brett Anderson and Trevor Cahill, and all three of those guys made the big league team pretty much from Double-A.
Yep.
Brett went up to the Triple-A playoffs at the end of the season, and Cahill didn't. So basically, Bailey and Cahill went to the big leagues right out of Double-A, and for the most part, BA did as well. And that was great to see all three be able to go up at the same time.
Well, David Force tells us all the time that once you hit Double-A, you are on the radar.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I think the landscape of minor league baseball has changed a lot, where you used to have a lot of, veterans in AAA that were kind of insurance policies. And I think what you're seeing is the young guys that can come up and do the same thing. I mean, the game doesn't change. And what we spoke about with the mental game, it's the same game, and these kids nowadays, we have a young kid coming up tonight, making a start, and, he's was in Double-A almost all year. Same thing with Peyton Tolley. He started in A-ball, and these kids are shooting up the systems nowadays, and take advantage when they're on runs.
What are we going to see from this kid tonight? Who is he? What do you got? What do you got?
What's the scouting report? You're probably going to tell him, hey, look, kid, the mound here is 60 feet, 6 inches, the same distance that the mound is in Portland and in Worcester.
And count leverage is key, work ahead of your bat. So the game doesn't change, man. It really doesn't. And you got to execute your game plan and know what you do really well. Obviously, sometimes that takes a little bit of experience and, lumps and bruises across the way at the major league level, but, be good at what you're great at.
It's so interesting where each organization kind of has their own philosophies. I hear all the time that hitting is timing and pitching is disruption of timing. I get that all the time from this guy right here. I know there was a thing we talked to you last year in Oakland when we had you on this show on the field. You guys are throwing a ton of breaking balls. So just talk about, from a standpoint, people like to say it's all about how an organization wants to go about it, but also a lot has to do with your personnel.
Yeah. Go ahead, Emo.
Well, yeah, you're right on the personnel. If you don't have guys that can elevate fastballs with good hard sliders, you're probably not going to strike out as many guys. If you got guys that throw a lot of sinkers, then obviously you're going to be, hopefully your defense is playing real good. So there's a lot of things to what you just said about having the personnel.
Yeah. To that point, I mean, I think when you look at what we did last year as a pitching staff, it was indicative of who we had personnel wise. A lot of two seams, east-west shapes. And it's not like, there's this mantra out there that, the Red Sox, don't like four-seamers. We just don't like bad four-seamers, So I think there's a difference there between guys with really good stuff, some good carries, some approach angle that can execute the top rail versus just throwing four-seamers to throw four-seamers. So there is utility in everyone's arsenal for it. How much you leverage it and how much you index it depends on the profile of it and some other components there. But we just had a makeup of we kind of inherited a pitching staff that was a little bit more east-west based, and I think that's why you saw the decline in four-seamers last year.
Well, we're in a world now because we've got Baseball Savant and we got Fangraphs and everybody's an amateur GM, and all of a sudden they're looking at the Red Sox and they're like, Red Sox never throw fastballs anymore. They don't like throw fast. It's like, it's about your personnel more than because the media will take stuff because everybody's looking for some type of content. How much do you just, I guess, laugh at that when you go, that's not, this guy threw fastballs. You're really good at it. I mean, it's not like you hate fastballs.
No, absolutely not. I mean, you just kind of try and speak the truth. It's like, hey, we just don't have that type of arsenal or that type of personnel, but really it's just maximizing each pitcher, right? We want them to be the best versions of themselves every single time out. And we're not just going to arbitrarily throw pitches that, don't really, perform that well.
At some point in time, your fastball is either useful or it's not useful, right? So when you throw it, not the percentages, but when you throw it, they got to be executed, or you're not going to throw them as much if you can't just execute it. I know I learned this as a young pitching coach, in 17, I was trying to get guys to pitch inside a little bit more ahead in the count and work on it. And then the next year I was hoping we had it mastered, and no, he keeps giving up hits on inside fastballs. So I said, you know what? You can't go inside. You got to elevate and go above. That's where your fastball plays best. When you keep throwing it inside, it gets pounded. When you throw it to the top of the zone, you're better. So that's what the data is for. We're always looking, diving into data. We have analysts. We have a team of analysts. Both of us have a team of analysts. And we're actually going to say, where does this fastball play the best? And that's everything. Count, advantage, execution-wise. Can he execute his fastball? For me, they need to be able to execute it when they throw it. And location is key. You know, you could have a 14-vert fastball at the top third. You're going to be really good. You could have a 16-vert fastball down the middle, and you're hoping and praying. 16 is going to play down the middle better than 14, but 14 at the top third will play better than 16 down the middle. So that's where you got to get this guy to be able to execute his fastball. You can get this guy just to throw his fastball. You got a 20-inch carry heater and a guy who can't throw strikes. You might set up a little bit more middle or a little shade more up, a little more shade down. That's where the data comes in. You got 17 inches of horizontal, and you're telling a guy to throw a sinker right down the middle. The plate's only 17. Down the middle, that thing's a ball. So, you know, you're finding your angles. You're finding where your VAA and all your horizontal approach angle. All these things mix into your arsenal. And I've had to learn this over time, you know, as Bailey has too. You know, he got his knowledge of it probably was ingrained right at the beginning of his career because that's when it came out, and mine picked up in the middle of my career.
You didn't have that when you were playing with Michael Jordan or against Michael Jordan back in the day?
Well, we didn't have it optimized or quantified. We knew what a ride fastball was.
You didn't even have cell phones at that point, let's be honest.
I can tell you this, in the 8th grade, when I got the 2 strikes, my dad would yell from the other side of the dugout, give him the dreaded high hard one. So
well, this is interesting to me because my wife is a first grade teacher, right? So this is when you really human beings are really starting to learn, right? And she'll tell you that all the kids in her class are different.
Yes.
And they all learn differently. I'll take first grade to the big leagues. All of your pitchers are different. Yes. There may be some guys who know exactly what you're talking about.
Yep.
And there may be other guys who look at this data and go, what is it? So how important is it to know your pupil and to know
100%.
What they can absorb and what they cannot?
Yeah, and on first grade math, I got 3 kids. I have no idea how to do math anymore, by the way. 7th grade, 5th grade, kindergarten, whatever, like they just learn it differently. So it looks like a different language to me. But anyway, yeah, you gotta meet meet the player with where they're at. Each and every, like you talked about, each and every organization prioritize different things. So not everybody preaches the same things. Everyone's data could be a little bit different. Maybe the organization values something else. So you also have to take inventory on when you acquire a player from a different organization of what they've been kind of coached up on or what they've learned over their tenure with a prior organization. So there's a lot of nuance there. And then, of course, you have all the, third-party facilities that prioritize other things as well. So it's kind of how it all blends together. Understand that there's different aptitude for every player as well. Some need all the information. Some just need a little bit. Some need just, hey, go compete. And some you need a little bit more, catered setups and, different things there. But, and same thing with bullpens and TrackMan data and everything blended in between. So, but if you find the cue, it could be spin efficiency, could be gyro degree, could be tilt, could be vert, could be whatever location, just cue in on those things with each individual.
All right, let's end on this. I know you got to go, and it's been great to have you here. It means so much whenever we have your time. I wish you guys came to town more often, by the way. It sucks you only come down one time.
Well, we got you guys in Fenway. You making the trip next week?
Not making the trip, but we can set up a Zoom. But, I do a show here. We do the NBC show, pre- and post-game with Steve Sachs. And I know Rookie of the Year, it's a big deal. For the rest of your life, you were Rookie of the Year. And Nick Kurtz is probably going to win it. And somehow, if he doesn't win, it's going to be Jacob Wilson. Just for you, tell us, winning that award, Rookie of the Year, what did it mean for you and your life, your career, when you look back on it?
Yeah, it's a special honor. I mean, like you said, it's something that no one can take away. Probably one of the best years of my life, to be honest with you. From a baseball standpoint, just every day, just focused, and just things just kind of went my way, so to say. And I was very focused on my routines and stayed very consistent. But for me, I mean, I think winning that award allowed me the opportunity to kind of continue to play when things weren't going great. It was like other teams kind of saw the hey, wow, this is what he was at some point in time. And I think you always end up, as a player, you want to chase that performance, and you're always dreaming on that 1 year. And for me, it always set the ceiling of what I knew I could do and how good I could be at this level. And it kind of gave me the after my surgeries and all that stuff, it was always like that ceiling I wanted to kind of recreate. I found it for bits and moments of time after my surgeries, but very, very special. I'll never forget, the Bay Area. And even with my time in San Francisco, I love this area. I love coming back here, being with you guys, and winning Rookie of the Year with the Oakland A's is, like you said, something no one can ever take away. And it means a lot, not only because winning that award, but the people in the organization that I still come across, and in not only in this organization, but around the league that are still infiltrated here. So just the people first. And it just means a lot to me.
Towny,
your pupil's done pretty well for himself.
Well, I think he talks about that Rookie of the Year. If you look up Bales' second year, he would have won Sophomore of the Year too. So I mean, his second year was unbelievable as well. Look it up, folks. I mean, it's an under 2 ERA. There was a lot of games. He would have won Sophomore of the Year.
It is funny. I'll have Giolito, I think just a couple weeks ago, he's like, hey, I was watching highlights of you on YouTube. I didn't know you were that good. It was kind of funny, but I'm older now, but it is cool to get the younger guys that kind of look up your history and ask you questions and ask me specifically about that year. So it's or the All-Star games or whatever, but it's a feather in the cap, and it's a good talking point, and it's great that the players actually know that I was decent when I played. So
yeah, our guys looked me up and went, "Who the hell are you? What the hell have you ever done, Emo?"
Well, they should have looked up your basketball stats.
Yeah, sure.
Triple doubles.
Your best pitch really was your pickoff move.
Well, you'll always be an A, no question about it. No question. And it was an honor to cover you, and it's always great to have you on. Good luck to you guys in the postseason, and we'll be following. And Emo, I think this is one of the best ones we've ever done.
Yeah, I mean, just to have Bales sitting next to me is an honor.
Yeah, thank you guys.
A special edition of Dr. Emo right here on A's Cast Live.
Looking to stay up to date on all things A's? Head over to athletics.com/A'sCast. That's athletics.com/A'sCast to listen to A's baseball in full 24/7 coverage of the A's, only on A's Cast. With a single click, you can stream great shows, live pre- and post-game coverage, and of course, all the great action of the A's this season. Head to athletics.com/A'sCast today.
This is